Well, let's go ahead and jump in terms of your job search. Where are you at this time?
Um, I'm still looking, although my contracts with this position, with this company right now, I have like a month and a half ish left, and I've heard talks about if there's an opening, I'll be converted into like a full-time employee, and the compensation will be way better because I was a contract, and it was like a new transition. And I mean, it's just a conversation going on um with my line manager right now. But outside of that, I've been applying. I had some disappointing interviews where I thought I was gonna get the job, but it was just super surprising after I was told that, I was the best candidate, but I never got the job. And I have some other interviews lined up, one next week, and one is yet to be scheduled. So I'm just optimistic and just hoping for the best right now.
Okay. How many interviews do you have lined up for the next 30 days?
I currently have one that is sure next week. The other recruiter is gonna get back to me today or tomorrow to let me know exactly when the interview. They asked for my availability, and I, gave my availability to them, and I'm just waiting for them to schedule like a Zoom um interview. But something shocking happened like 2 weeks ago, like 2, 3 weeks ago. I did the first and second interview. I spoke with the VP of the organization, and he told me, "Oh, I'm gonna get back to you next week for further steps because we're starting up a new company in Chicago." And I actually like the way you interview. I was actually you know, very certain that something good is gonna come out of this, but they never go back to me. I was like, this is strange. Then I reached out to the like the HR lady, no response, and it's been 2 weeks. I was like, okay, like we move on to the next one. I've been hearing like stories about this, like people getting ghosted after a good interview, and I'm just wondering that this is not a good look for the company if you're just ghosting people after you say, you get like further steps on how things are going. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm just still looking and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, so a couple of things come to mind in terms of interviewing.
Hmm.
One of those is around, I think it was Jacob who brought it up in the group, um, around asking if there's anything else that they would need to know from you in order for you to be, a qualified candidate or a good candidate, just locking in on that. And maybe you
Hmm.
already did that because they can still say the same thing, which is, we loved you and ghost you. Still can happen.
Right.
I think finding out when you should expect to hear from them is good as well. It's an assertive move, but I don't think it's a bad um, question in terms of, uh, you know, um, I mean, if you're feeling it, what comes to mind, let's say it's even second interview in terms of, so far, everything is sounding like a great fit on my end to move forward. Is there anything else that you all would need for me to consider me as a top candidate for this role or a
Hmm.
primary candidate for the, just like cut? I'm just going to be very direct here. We're off the script here. I know it's recording, so let me not be off the script here. Just direct to the point in terms of that authority positioning. So it lets them know also that you're assessing them. It's not passive. It's not, well, if there's anything else you need, I'm here when you're ready. No, absolutely not. It's your own assessment, right? If it's not a good fit, don't tell them that. But if it looks like a great fit, folks, this is looking like a great fit for this reason, and this reason. I'm interested in moving forward with you all to a third round or an offer, whatever comes next, like whatever those next pieces are. And I'm curious to know, is there anything else that you all are going to need from me to make that determination? Just, just business. Just we're not. I'm here for money, impact, all those things. We just need to get to it. Are you buying or are you not buying my
Right.
service? And you'll get some real, I mean, you'll start to get some real answers at that point in terms of, well, we'll see how it goes. We'll let you know. Okay, they're not feeling you like that. They're not. Oh, well, we'll let you know in about 5 days what our decision is in terms of next steps. And then you can follow up with, sounds fantastic because I'm interviewing other places. Just, let them know. They already know, but let them know that you know. And if I don't hear from you, then should I follow up? What's next? What's the best thing to do? No, 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 we'll get back to you. Do not follow, just don't follow up. If they said we're gonna follow up, don't worry, we'll get back to you. Let it be. Just let it be. If they say follow up, follow up. I would ask the hard questions and then trust the answer, whatever it kind of comes back as. It's like, oh yeah, we're in 5 days. Cool, follow up in 5 days. And if you don't hear from them, maybe one more time and then let it be.
Yeah.
And that's that. And just got to move on. But I think it's time to get. How long have you been looking for? Let's talk openly.
So like I've been
Ballpark,
serious
3 months,
about
6 months, 1 month, 2 months, 2 years.
probably like 6 months now because
Yeah.
I
So it's
yeah,
just time to cut. It's just time to cut the fat at this point. Just get
yeah.
right to it. If they want you, they're gonna let you know. You're gonna know because they're gonna say, "We love you. We love that you're interested. We will let you know in 3 days, 5 days. We're interviewing other people. Give us this amount of time. Great. Give you some time. Ballpark. What are we talking? 5 days, 10 days? What do you think on average? Great. And if
So
I don't hear from you, should I respond to you or do I wait for you all to respond to me? All right.
so
I
there
think we're
was
clear. Let's
yeah.
move it forward. What are your thoughts on that level of transparency?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Like it's something I'm going to incorporate into my interviews right now because I never ask those questions. I just once we finish the interview and they say, "Hey, we like you" and things like that, I just follow up with. I give it like 30 minutes and I follow up with an email saying, "Oh, thanks for taking the time to interview with me, hoping for the best," and I leave it right there.
No hoping
But
for the best. No hoping. This is business. This is nuts and bolts. Let's practice. Is that okay?
yeah,
Cool. So we just had an interview. You finished, let's just say it's a one-on-one. It's not like a panel or something like that. Cool. Let's move on to the next step. So I say, well, fantastic. Bo, we appreciate the interview and we'll be in touch.
yeah. From my conversation with you, I'm just going to say things like, "Oh, thank you very much for this opportunity interviewing with this company. Is there anything you need from me to facilitate the next step, either like a third interview
No,
or?"
no, 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 no. You're qualifying them. You tell them if you like them or not. So let's do an example where it's you do like them. And I want you to make up 3 reasons why you like them on the spot. All right, let's run it back. Mikkel Hinson. I know that's right. Like 2 names, maybe 2 names, maybe 1 name. Either way, welcome. We'll get to you just coming up next. If you can have your video on, that's preferable. I want to see you. I want to see who's here. I'm not a huge fan of people kind of just off the camera and because I just don't know what's going on with you. But if you're driving or in the office, I totally understand that as well. But let's run it back. So we just finished the interview, and I want you to pretend like it's a job that you like, and I want you to then do the thank you piece. That's good, and
Mhm.
then get to this role so far is looking like a great role for me, and then list out 3 reasons. All right, let's hit it.
Yeah, this role is a great fit for me based
Nope,
on few.
there's a huge difference. You don't know if it is yet. You
But
know what
what
it
about
looks
from
like.
the
You
job
won't ever
description?
know. You won't ever know until you start the job. You'll never know until you're in it. So always use that modifier, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You're your own man, right? You're gonna make your own choices. But I would highly
Right.
recommend use the modifier. It looks like a great role because you look like a great candidate, but they don't know until you're in the job who you really are as a worker. They don't. None of us do. So let's run that back. All right, so we've just finished. Mario, welcome. Let's hit it.
Yeah, it looks like a great role for me and my career projection, my career advancement based on the numerous projects that the company has been involved in the past, such as I'll just give some examples of some CapEx projects, and also they are one of the leading factors in the industry. With that being said, I believe my expertise I'll mention the few projects we taught based on in the interview, would not only make me an asset for the organization, but will
No,
move.
no, yeah. Hopefully you did that already in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, because they're going to ask about that. Hopefully you've covered that already. So let me just give you an example here. By the way,
Okay.
customize it, modify it how you want. And hey, guys, listen, tomorrow, if you can
So
come
I'm
off,
going to take notes anyway.
yeah,
So
handle it. This is real time. And this is going to be recorded and put into the vault and shared back on the job search group. Guys, today's going to be a shorter meeting. So we're doing laser coaching because we have Anthony Williams coming up in an hour and 45 minutes. And we need to prepare for him.
are you gonna drop the link to that? Because sometimes I
Yeah,
feel
I
like,
know people aren't getting
yeah,
it. It's wonky. I'm going to rectify that. Is it Mikkel Henson?
That's Mikael. Mikael,
Mikael, brother, welcome. I like you got your button down on. That's looking good. Mario, welcome. I like the watch stunting on us early in the day. No, we're good. I'm just teasing. But welcome, guys. This is a collaborative, not a competitive space. It truly is, and I want to prove that to you here in this experience today. I hope you've already experienced it a bit in the community so far, but every meeting, every conversation is an opportunity to build this culture further. That being said, we're doing some real-time laser coaching. We're going to get out of here probably at about Mountain Time, 12:40 Eastern, 2:40 here today, a little earlier. All right, so I'll give you an example, Bo. So let's say you finished the interview and it went well. So you know what, Mike, whoever the person is, I really enjoyed this interview experience today, and I think this looks like this could be a fantastic fit. It does. Because from what I hear, the culture sounds fantastic here. That's the first piece, and culture leads to productivity and retention. So I'm on board with that. The next thing is the type of projects that you're working on. That's exactly what I'm looking to contribute to next. And the third piece is, I don't even know the third piece, the future of the organization. I checked out the financials, and the financials look extremely solid. It's very important. And so for those three reasons, this is looking like a really amazing fit. That means means it's good for you and it's good for me. That's that word, fit. Going forward. So you land the plane. They don't have to guess if you're interested and why you're interested. You showed that you want the role and why you want the role, not why they want you. They're going to do that work on their own. Why you want that role. Quick, brief, not elong, not stretched out. This is in sales. This is when you close the deal. You talk too long, you lose the deal. Right to the point. And then from there, that's when you gauge their status, which is essentially, so in terms of next interview or offer, if you could tell me what comes next, and if there's anything else you need to know for me to be considered as a top candidate or the top candidate for this role. See, that's no room for ambiguity, is it? It's just getting right to it. And I promise you, they're not there to waste their time. They're there to get a new hire. So this helps them cut the fat, get at it. And then they're going to tell you, they're going to tell you everything you need to know. They're going to start waffling, which means they don't want you. They don't want you. Or they're going to tell you in 3 days, you can expect to hear from us. If not, reach out on day 4 and we're going to move this process forward. And believe what they tell you. Don't try and move them. Don't try and shift. Don't try and resell yourself. Just go with what they tell you, in my opinion. So let's role play that. I'm gonna give you some options. I need you to be crisp, succinct, to the point. And then we're going to move on with some other guys for some laser coaching. All right, Bo, so we just finished your interview. Let's first hear why you think this is a great fit. And then I want you to start closing me with what are the next steps.
I think this is a great fit based on the culture of the organization, which leads to productivity, the project that has been worked on in the past, such as the CapEx project. And I took a deep dive into the financials of the company. The
Run it
balance
back
sheet
one more
looks
time.
good.
Start again, please.
Okay. I think this looks like a great fit based on the culture of the company. As culture leads to productivity, the project that has been worked on in the past, which also aligns with the project I've worked on in my career. And I also took a deep dive into the financials of the company.
No. They saw that on your resume. They know you've talked about it during the interview. This is a more of an emotional appeal. Based on the projects that you were working on, this is what I would love to be working on as well. Not based on what I've worked on I'm telling you, they saw it in the resume, or hopefully they asked, you've already talked about that. This is not a recap of what was talked about in the interview. This is not that. That's over. It ended. It's done. It's in the past. This is moving forward, closing the deal. So I would say, once again, but you use your own, fill in the blank.
But I've been to some interviews that they just basically ask, like, they don't basically go deep into your resume. Like one of the interviews I did, they didn't really touch base on what I submitted in my resume. They just asked like, scenario-based questions, and that was about it.
So, Bo, that's a whole nother conversation, which is very important. That's where you get to weave in. So I'll answer that briefly, and then we're going to jump back to closing, which is if they say, here's a scenario, how would you handle it? Well, when I was back at, Napkin X manufacturers, what I did was this, and this. And that is on your resume. So you find ways to weave it in. And how I would handle that at this company is I would take the 3 same steps I did at that company and I would apply it here. And then you can even go into questioning about, is there certain resources that you need? Is there a support that they need? Or you can say how you answer it and say, does that fit in the processes in the culture of your organization? Or should we pivot that a bit to fit the culture of your organization best? And then they can give you well, it is good. I like you have the process, great experience, but we do need to pivot it in a certain way. You know what, Mike? I love that pivot. I think it's an excellent pivot. And that's exactly what I would be doing to complete this project. So those pieces about your resume, if they're not asking, it's your responsibility to weave it in smoothly into that interview process so they know. Now, let's just get back to the final piece, which is the close. So let's say we've done all that work. This is what you love about this company and why you want to be there. Let's just do 2 things. All right, let's go for it.
I think this looks like a great fit for my career advancement because of I'm just trying to, because of the culture which leads to productivity and the past project that the company has worked on, which aligns with my future goals in the CapEx project, and looking at the financials of the company and the 2030 goals, which include sustainability and recycled materials, which is an interest of mine. I believe with this being said, I hope to. That's where I messed up at. I
Yeah,
just lost
we're gonna be
because
direct. This needs a lot of work.
yeah,
I gotta, we gotta talk direct with each other here. This needs work. This needs tightening up. Not that you're not skilled at doing the job, but in terms of the communication piece, we need to line this up so it's a lot more powerful, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I believe my because I mean this is my first time talking to you about closing. I in my most of my interviews I've never done this closing piece.
I hear
So
you.
it's
So,
like,
Bo, let's just
yeah.
get right at it. I need you to practice with somebody. Guys, put your hand up if you could spend 20 minutes to 30 minutes practicing with Bo in the next 7 days on this piece. And if not, we'll find you in the job search group. Can anyone help? All right, please link up with Mario in the chat group. Mario, are you in the chat group? Yeah, cool. Great background, by the way. Love that. Looks like industrial kind of vibe. All right. So we're gonna have you practice that. And I would say, so let's say you do that. Now let's go to you asking about next steps. You've talked to 2 or 3 reasons why you want to work there. Next steps, I want you to ask about that, please. Bo.
Oh, okay. Um, I would like to know the next step moving forward in this interview from either the next interview or the offer letter. How soon would I get a response from your team?
Good. 40%. We need to upgrade that to 100. I would say there's a piece around, like with all that being said, just curiosity about their, in terms of the next steps, but you need to qualify it. And, is there anything else they need to know about you for you to be in the top or a top candidate for this role? Because you're not just trying to move it forward just to move it forward. You're trying to win. You're trying to land the plane. So I wouldn't talk about anything other than that. Because you're there for a job. You're not there for final interviews and being there all day and making new friends. Hey man, this is fantastic. I'm loving this job interview right now. I think your company could be a great place to work for. And moving forward, is the next step another interview or is it an offer letter? And you'll kind of know. They'll probably tell you a little bit on that. And is there anything else you need to know from me for me to be considered a top pick or the top pick? Don't shy away from that powerful language. They're not playing with the time. They want to close the deal too. Is there anything else you need to know from me to be considered one of the top or the top pick for this role? Isn't that powerful language? You know what? You're not the top pick. Perfect. Then I'm out of here. It's a wrap. I'm not here to waste my time or your time. You know what? We're just going to shop it around a bit. They told you everything you need to know. They're not feeling you. Or, you know what? We got all the information we need. The next step, in 5 days, we're going to have Susie contact you for the 3rd interview. You need to have this thing ready and the referrals and the recommendations. We're going to pick it up from there. If you don't hear from us, reach out to us and we're going to schedule that next step. See, that's clear. They're courting you. Guys, you don't have to guess with this stuff, but you do have to ask the powerful questions. You'll get the answer. They'll tell you the answer. But we're going to move forward. Mikael, please,
Oh,
what's
sorry,
going on with your job
I just
search?
have one last question before we move forward.
Hit it.
So, I have a conflicting feeling because this is like I was saying earlier on in this meeting, this is my first contract positions, and I've been getting like calls from like a lot of contract positions, and I've been saying no to those positions because I want a full-time position. I had a taste of a contract position, but it's not something I really like.
What's the question?
The question is, based on the job market right now, I notice there are more contract positions out there than full-time positions. How would you advise me to stay around that?
Are you getting any interest from full-time roles?
A little bit, but not as much as contract positions.
Are you strapped for cash and you need a contract? You need any position?
No, no, I'm not strapped for cash. I'm just
Hold out then. Just go for
okay.
go for a full-time. That's what I recommend. But I would say if you haven't set up a call with Alex Dumas, please do so because we need to help craft. For whatever reason, the market is not seeing you as full-time. They're seeing you as contract. So something in your profile on LinkedIn or wherever is screaming contract right now when it should be screaming full-time. So that's something you have power to update. I don't know what all those tweaks are without giving it a full look, but you know, I'm just gonna be, we could talk openly. There's some guy the market is looking at as dating, and some they're looking at as marrying. It's just different. They're different signals that guys are sending. Now we can debate that, but it's just an example. All right. Let's move forward, Bo. Thank you for going first. Mikkel?
Yes, sir. How's it going today?
Winning on all levels. Glad to be working with you.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that. That's what we're here for. We're trying to win, right?
That's it.
That's right.
So please tell us, where are you at in your job search? What's your biggest challenge?
Right now I'm in my job search, just applying every day. That's my biggest challenge is, I don't know, maybe I'm just, it's patience, right? Like, I mean, I've applied for a bunch of positions. I recently just had a job interview where they did like a pre-recorded one, and then they go back and review your answers, and I wasn't selected. And I'm kind of just like, man, like, did I not like, did I, you know, it, it, what response or did I not present well, because it wasn't a face-to-face kind of interview, which I'm normally better at, It's like they give you a few questions and then you answer them and record yourself, and I didn't get the position. So I'm kind of just curious or wondering how could I step my game up in that area or, any kind of coaching when it comes to those type of virtual interviews.
All right. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first off, is this what you would look like in terms of your setup for recording?
Yes, I will have a button up on, nice haircut. Probably be in another room in my home here, not with the windows, but
Yep. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Those would just be the minor tweaks. So it sounds like you're on top of that, just like the audio video piece. You want it to look like a 10 out of 10. And we all know what a 10 out of 10 looks like. We all know. We all know what 10 out of 10 audio video looks like. So whatever that needs to be for you, get there. That'd be the first thing. Visuals, they're important. But the second thing, and most important, is going to be your content, right? And your actual resume itself. From your definition, are you qualified for the roles you're going for?
yes,
All right, perfect. Is your LinkedIn a 10 out of 10 right now?
probably not.
No, yeah. The fact that you paused it all says no. So get it there.
Okay.
Is your resume a 10 out of 10 right now?
Yes, close enough. I could probably do some tweaking. Okay, so maybe not. If it's close enough, then maybe it's not. But
No,
okay.
no, get it there. Why? No. Hey guys, I'm just the guy from LinkedIn. I'm just the guy from WhatsApp. But I wouldn't be doing you any favors by saying less than a 10 out of 10 is fine. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't be. So we're all grown men. We make up our own decisions. But you want a guy that's going to say, you got to be the best. You do. So you got to get it there. See, we don't even have to dig deep on this. Are your interviewing virtual skills a 10 out of 10 right now?
No, because they're rare. I haven't done a lot of those virtual interviews.
Okay,
So,
let's go into that then.
yeah.
What do you need to do? Sure. So I get it. Here's a place where we can practice. So good on you for being here. But outside of here, what is it that you can do to get your interviewing virtual video recording skills at a 10 out of 10 based on what just comes to mind?
Well, based on what you just went over with me, I guess everything that's subjective, like my LinkedIn, my resume, things that they're going to look at and preview, before they actually get a glimpse of me. I think those things will probably be a bigger source to speaking to me being what would you call it, the best candidate, right? So
Okay.
obviously we're doing these interviews, these virtual interviews, they're looking at everything on paper first. So I'm glad that you brought to my attention. My resume and my LinkedIn probably needs to reflect how I show up.
Yeah, it does. Let me be the last person to tell you, it
Okay.
does. They're looking at it and they're judging you based on what they see
Okay.
and everybody else based on what they see. It's either going to help you or hurt you. And thinking, oh, it doesn't matter. You're competing with people from around the United States, one of the most competitive countries on planet Earth for roles, if not from people around the earth. So it's got to be the best. Don't know, it is what it is. But my question is different. Interviews, the communication portion, and you said it's not a 10 out of 10. So what comes to mind for you to get it to a 10 out of 10?
Probably need practice speaking in front of cameras like this.
Yeah, how much practice?
Enough practice to where I'm fluent, enough to where I'm able
How
to
many hours is that?
maybe an hour out of the day at least to just sit
How
down.
many days?
Well, I guess every day if I want to be the best. Huh?
So let's just, you see, guys, I didn't have to tell him how many days, how many times. This is just what he said. How would you feel going into these interviews if you were a 10 out of 10 in your interviewing skills, resume, LinkedIn? How would you feel?
Uh, Confident, prepared, equipped, ready, a little more excited, less nervous, right?
Perfect. So that's how you feel. Do you want to feel that way?
Absolutely. I want to feel
Okay.
like in everything.
Do you think it would make an impact, excuse me, for jumping in there. Do you think it would make an impact on the decisions they're making about you for hiring you?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So let's land the plane. Is this work you're willing to do?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now let's land the plane. Will you do it?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Now let's just, now the plane is on the tarmac and it's rolling up to the thing where people, get off the turn, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna do it?
Yes, I'm going to do it.
There you go. Yeah, sure, there's a bit of accountability with me in the room because we're all here, but it's more about you and you, the words that you say and keep to yourself. So let's just move forward with that energy for now and see where it goes. Circle back here next week. I want to hear how it went for you. Mikhail, can we move on for now? You got your homework cut out for you.
Good, absolutely. Yeah, I took a few notes here, and I definitely appreciate the time, for sure.
Yes, sir. Mario, how you doing, sir?
No, well, how are you?
Man, I'm winning on all levels. Let's get to it. Where you at in your job search? What's your biggest challenge?
Yeah, I've been searching for a job for about 8 months. My biggest challenge is probably just getting some callbacks. So I've applied probably like 200 positions, only been interviewed once. I've redone my resume, paid someone to do it, paying them to redo it again. Just recently got feedback from just some recruiters and some HR professionals on how my resume comes off. So that's the reason why I'm getting it redone. I don't know, like I'm impatient. So again, for 8 months I've been applying, and I understand some of the roles I may be applying for, like 10,000 people are probably going to apply for those roles as well. So it's a more targeted approach. I guess for me, it's just like, what else could I be doing to get more callbacks, I guess, or just like interest in my resume.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, let's level set. We got a level set. We do. Excuse me. There we go. We got to start from what the market is telling. It's just like sales, right? If we're trying to sell the product nobody is buying, they don't want it, or they don't want it like that, how we're trying to sell it. But the market is telling us everything we need to know in terms of buy and sell. And we're here to sell our services to these companies for them to give us money for us to, work for them. So let's just level set. Mario, is the market right now saying they want you or they don't want
I guess they're saying they don't want me. I don't know, but it could be that they don't want my background, I should say.
you? Okay, so let's just either one. We'll go with either one. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't have to make it personal because they don't know you. It's not about you, right? It's just about information on a piece of paper and things like
Yeah.
that. So we'll just go with that. Yeah. Let's do this next question. So guys, I'm just fact finding right now. I'm just gathering information, right? Puzzle pieces on the table before we put it together. So, and we'll go for another 6 minutes and then we'll wrap. Good stuff. Good session today, guys. Are you from what your own perception, are you the most qualified, likely the most qualified person for the role that you're going for?
Probably 60 to 70% of the time, yes.
Okay. So they're likely, and we all know this, guys, they're probably likely going with the top 10%, 20%,
Okay.
30%, probably. Do we agree on that or do we disagree on that? If we disagree, we need to talk that through.
No, I agree on that.
Yeah, okay, got it. Is there anything that you could do? We're not moving into homework mode. We're still fact finding. Is there anything you could do in the next 2 weeks, right? Quick stuff to move you from the 50, 60, 70% to the 80%?
I'd probably say more targeted search.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like really focusing on what my background is, because it was a numbers game for the most part for the last like 6 months. So probably a more targeted search.
Okay, yep. So guys, let's put into comparison. They talk about 3 to 6 months on average for finding a job. If it goes over 6 months, something is typically wrong or off with the job search. It's not yielding results in a reasonable amount of time. So I would put this in it's getting long in terms of landing a role. So I think perfect, you're here. I'm happy you're here. That's the purpose of this community, is to provide support and tighten things up and help guys win. So let's talk about that, tightening up the targeted, the role you're going for. What's your current approach and what would a tightened up approach look like?
Current approach is probably searching LinkedIn for, like, I was a director of product marketing at my previous company, so director of product marketing. New approach is tighten up is probably more growth and strategy focused, which was like my background. So I'll start to apply for those jobs, but it's still like crickets. That's why I'm getting my resume redone to make sure that it aligns with those jobs. And that's what I did at first to say that. So I would say that the more targeted approach focusing on like growth and strategy. I came from like an energy and utility sector, so energy and electrifications and industrial automation products.
Okay. Do you use jobscan.co for your resumes? Okay, let's talk about that. Yeah. So what's going on with companies right now is they're using ATS, applicant tracking services. And imagine, right? 1,000 resumes coming in, even 100. It's a real human being that has to look through this stuff. But we're the age of technology and automation. So many times they'll filter your resumes through a technology, a program, this ATS program. And what is it looking for? It's looking for keywords. And what are the keywords they're looking for? The keywords in the job description. The people that are looking at this resume, they've never done your job before. They're a recruiter. They're HR. They don't know engineering job, C-level exec. They have no idea. They're matchmaking. That's what they're doing. And they have a program that helps them, and it looks for keywords. So if your resume has a bunch of words that are not in the job description that you're applying for, you get ranked lower and you don't get picked. So what is jobscan.co, not com.co, for $39 a month, something like that? You upload the job description, you upload your resume. It gives you a number. You stay up all night working on the resume, tell the wife you'll be there. 3 hours later, you show up, you're just put so much effort in. You upload the job description, you upload your resume, it's at a 50% match rate when it should be an 80 or higher. And you had no clue. And you've been sending out those type of keyword matches for the past 8 months, no idea that it's not even registering at the company. Jobscan.co, it'll tell you line by line what's matched and what's not matched. And your competitors are using this software.
Okay.
Guys, you have to use it or something similar. You can't leave this to chance. And so if you update all those pieces, the score will get to, it'll go higher and higher. I typically recommend an 80% or higher. That's recommended. You don't have to get to 90. It's okay. 80% higher, then send that bad boy off. So Mario, I'd recommend, just as a slight tweak, once you get your resume back, every single role is different. They're all different, the job description, even if slightly different. Run it through jobscan.co first, update it to an 80%, then send it out. And it'll have your, I think you'll have an increased kind of response rate from that. That's one thing that comes to mind. What are your thoughts on that before we move forward?
Yeah, like I have no problem doing that. Like, so the resume service I use, they had like a ATS friendly version. Also, like a lot of the director of product marketing roles, I know a lot of them are the same. They're kind of like wash and repeat. So I don't really have to do a lot of changing because the role is similar across the board. So I think that's a good thing. But also, I'm willing to try as much as I possibly can because I've only had like one resume hit, and I went through the full interview process, and they went with another candidate. So I mean, that's the only one I've had.
So I'd recommend it just to see if it can help. But even for you to see the JD versus, you need to know.
Okay.
You need to know, not just some company or you need to see it, in my opinion, for yourself. I would recommend that. You can do it for 1 month. If you like it, continue. If you don't, so be it. Just cancel it. They might even have like free, 14-day off or something like that. So
Okay.
that's the first thing. Second thing, being more targeted. I like that as well. We talk about being the best in the world at what you do, but let's get off of what we call cold applications, which I see you, Bo, which is applying online, and let's go to the hidden job market, which is getting referred internally. You're 5 times more likely to get referred internally, to get a role if you're referred internally. When I'm looking to hire people for BEM, I just ask the current staff, who do they know? And it's the same thing in corporate. They're asking, who do you know? So they'll put ghost roles out there, but actually be hiring based on referral because they legally have to. See, you want to be in the part that's the internal referrals. So how do you do that? What I'd recommend, and this is going to be a very short, not lesson, but perspective on how to reach the hidden job market. Number one, select the company size so guys, I think this might be valuable. Select the company size you want to work at. Is it large? Is it, Fortune 500? Is it medium? Is it small? Okay. They're different. They're wildly different. Pick the one you want. Mid-market, large, small. Master that. Go with that. The second thing is, what's the industry you want to be in? Pick one. Maximum 3. Try and pick one. If you pick one, find the top 20 companies. Do the research. You get to choose. Look at the financials, see if there are any Black men in senior leadership. Figure out your top 20. Once you got that, it's time to reach out. Cold if you need to. Totally fine. To people in the role that you want, or their manager of it, at the companies, those 20 you want to work at. Simple message in the connection message. Cold. Never met them, ever. Hey, Mark, I'm looking to expand my network with people in the utilities industry. Thanks. That's it. You're not asking about jobs, nothing. That's it. Hey, Mark, looking to expand my network with people in the utilities industry. Send about, you can send up 70 of those on LinkedIn a week. So maybe do 10 a day. Check the next day. Some of those people will connect with you for any number of reasons, but they'll accept. And then it's a numbers game. You send 10, maybe 3 respond. And out of those 3, follow up. Mark, thanks for the connection request. I see you're working at this company. I'm interested in a particular role there. Would love it if we could hop on the phone and talk about your experience there. Thanks. It's a numbers game. You do that for 3 people, maybe 1 says yes. How many do you need? That many? 1. You just need 1. How many people should you reach out to at each company? Good question. More than 1, because it's a numbers game. You start big, it's going to whittle down to small. Reach out to 10 people at one company, 10 different people at one company, in order to do what? End up speaking to 1. Let's wrap up on this. You hop on the phone with them, ask them about them. How is AI impacting your industry? Who are your competitors that you're, got your aware? What do you think about the senior leadership? Let's talk about diversity at the organization. How are the financials? How's your manager? Any major products coming out that you think are fascinating or amazing? Just get curious about them. People love talking about themselves. Inadvertently, they'll ask about you. I would not recommend asking about a job too much unless they bring it up. 30-minute conversation, exit the conversation, circle back 3 days later, say, based on the conversation we've had and the research I've done, I think this would be a great organization to work at. Would you be open to referring me to the recruiter? At this point, you've gone through the 3, 4, 5 steps to build up trust, build rapport. That's what unlocks them willing to refer you. If you don't do that, they're not likely going to open up their network because they don't know you. They don't trust you. They won't refer you to their prized possession, their network. So guys, this is a way that works to get referred in from people you've never met in your life for roles you want at the top company you want to work at. So Mario, I share this because we talked about a targeted approach. This is one of the most targeted approaches that I know of with the highest likelihood of success. But what's your take on that? I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again.
I think it's hit or miss. I've done some of that, I'm open to it. I'm open to doing more, but I've tried some of that thus far. But maybe again, like you said, it's a numbers game. So I've leaned on my network, leaned on just like randomly sending connection requests, even to something like Black Men, and no response. So I think I've done it. I've only had like 1 response, so it didn't really.
How many would you say you sent out?
Probably not enough. So like 10 to 15. So not enough.
Yeah, no, actually, those are the numbers. Those are the ratios.
Okay.
10 to 15. See, it works, guys. It's proven time and time again, it works. But let's say you sent out over the next month, you get 70 a week. Everybody, I want you to land that 70 opportunity, 70 at bats for a grand slam every week. So let's times that by 4, 28. 280. Let's say you did that 280 times from now until 30 days. How do you think that would impact the number of people willing to hop on a call with you, Mario?
Well, it didn't increase it.
Do you want it increased?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay. We're going to leave this one a little open-ended. We're going to leave it open-ended. But I think that's a path that, based on the logic that we've spelled out in the information you've given us, could help you get to your goal. But what's your, because you're the ultimate judge, what's your take on that? What's your assessment on that?
I'm processing it. I don't really have an assessment on it right now.
We're going to leave it open. I said there's something else brewing. We're going to leave it open-ended because, guys, job seeking is a whole, there's a lot that goes into it, guys. It's not always so just straightforward, if you will. So, excuse me, Mario, I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to kind of look into your job search process. I'd say this is probably a longer conversation. We can unpack a few more pieces, just get a more fuller picture of what's going on and how to support you. But guys, it's just little by little. We've gone over for today. Let's go for takeaways, guys. It's not what I take away. It's what you take away that matters most. Bo, we're not going to have time for questions because we got to wrap, but you're more than welcome to shoot them into the group chat. I will answer them there if you like. Let's go for takeaways, reverse order. Mario, what's one takeaway? Then we'll go to Mikhail, close it out with you, Bo.
Do more.
Mikhail?
Practice. Jobscan.co. Make sure my resume lines up what I'm looking at, and practice.
Bo? Thank you, Mikhail.
Practice and communication skills.
I love it. Guys, great work this week. We will be back next week, same time. Bring a friend, and good luck in your job search. Till then, take care. Bye-bye for now.